Hello again from Custom Home Builders Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software for the professional home builder. This video is a continuation of a series of videos about doing cost plus markup draw requests in CHS. So I click the draw request button on the Home tab, and I'm going to be selecting our demo job. In the previous video, we talked about how CHS attaches markup percents to costs as you enter them as job costs, etc., and about how you mark the job as being a cost plus markup job with a 25% markup. And now we are going to we posted some costs, etc., and we are going to go ahead and do our first draw request. On this menu, you have several different buttons on this draw request, and we will be talking about other types of draw request features that CHS has for different kinds of jobs. Some that CHS will gather the cost, like the cost plus one, or gather the budget so you can draw on a percent complete, and those are all behind this button. If you click the question mark button, you'll see all three of those types of costs explained. If you click this question mark button, you'll see that kind of cost sort of described. But we will be having a series of videos about the various ways that you can produce or draw for costs that you've posted. So our very first one is a cost plus markup. If I click this big button that is mentioning all three of these kinds of draws, it's going to detect that I have not done a draw request before. This will be our first one. So it pops up and it wants to know which one of these three types of draw requests do I intend to use. And as we described in the previous video, it talked about how the cost plus markup will be drawing on actual cost posted plus a markup percent, whereas the cost plus builder fee will be cost posted and then adding a builder fee to it. So anyway, we're going to select cost plus markup, and the first window that opens here is for us to select a cutoff date. Because it's going to be drawing on costs that we've posted, we can decide we're only drawing for costs that are dated through a certain date. And in our case, we're just going to do 12/31/2015 for our first draw, because we had several draws up to that point. We're actually in May right now, but and it drops that date in. But anyway, that's how these demos work. The due date is for some builders. They only want to draw for costs that are due through a certain date that was posted, so you can use that field for that. Otherwise, you can just leave it alone. This button up here for click this to add overhead timer adjustments was described and talked about in our sort of first video about adding overhead to cost plus draw requests, so please watch that. If you click the help, you'll see that there's a section, options for adding overhead to cost plus draw request. And there is a video there that you can click on. Let me go ahead and open the help for cost plus markup draw requests. Since that's what we're doing right now, there will be more videos over here, this one that I'm doing, etc. But there is a cost plus draw request help document, PDF help document, that you can click on to open. And it will stay open in a tab up here if you like, and then you can go back to the program. We're actually to the point in this document right here on this screen, so you can see that. I'm going to leave it open just in case I'd like to refer to it again. So anyway, we've entered our cutoff date. You need to use 4 digits for the year, and then I need to click this to continue to next step. The next window that opens is actually going to be all posted job costs to your accounting books. They were marked as job costs because they have a cost code other than 0, and they were given the job code. And these are all costs that have not been drawn in a previous draw. And if you like, you can search for various things. In an earlier video, I talked about maybe searching for any of them that didn't get a markup percent attached when the bill was posted, because maybe the budget didn't have a markup on it yet or something. And you can use the edit button here on these to edit them to a certain point. You can edit things like the description of the individual cost type, not a whole lot, but you can edit the markup percent also here. And then you would save it and close it. So you can do some editing of what you see here. You might realize that you're going to give a report to your home buyer or something, and that you would like something to have a little better description, maybe, about what it was for or something. But the point of this window is that you can actually uncheck things. I'm suggesting in several things that for a cost plus job, if you do change orders, which in some ways are sort of odd because it's cost plus markup, but you might do change orders so the home buyer can know where the costs are headed. But I do kind of strongly suggest that you don't collect money for the change orders separately from doing your cost plus markup draw, because sometimes people won't get the costs posted. They won't get them marked up. I mean, they won't get them marked as change order costs. I do talk in videos and things about change orders that if you would attach a PO to every change order line, even if you're not sending the PO out, that will get a PO that you can select when the bills are posted, and you can select the PO and it will get marked as a change order, because the PO type that you would be selecting for those that you did for change orders will be change order. But in general, if you're just determined that you have done a PO for all the change order costs and attach them to the POs, so you know which costs are change orders for sure, you could do a search if you wanted to for the PO type change order. Let's submit that. So we've just found ones after the search for change order, and you could just uncheck all of those that are change order if you like. You could also, let me do a search again and clear a search fields. Maybe there's something else, like I said, look for the markup percent. Maybe you want to, just look for ones that are unpaid, which should be the ones marked as to pay or unpaid. And these are the only unpaid ones, which you could uncheck then. The other thing is that you could unselect. You could use this button to unselect all unpaid costs. Maybe you have a policy you're only drawing for costs that are marked as paid. You can just use this button instead of doing a search like I just did. I'm going to clear my search and bring everything back. I'm not really unchecking anything. You can see that this shows the cost, markup percent attached to each one, and the cost plus markup. For a cost plus markup draw, this is the amount that we would be drawing if all of these were check marked. If you uncheck anything, let's just say we uncheck that 1,075 and then do a report, that will not be in it, and that's how you could go ahead and, we could do a search actually. Selected, yes. We submit the search. I think I had something else marked in there. No selection for paid or unpaid. Submit search. And then we would see that we would only be drawing $89,133. Let me clear my search. I want to recheck that one item and include it. I want to go ahead and just include all costs through here. But you can see how a lot of times you might open this just real quickly, study it, and keep going, because CHS has gathered all the costs. But maybe there's some that you want to be unchecking that to not be included on the draw. So after you've done all of that and reviewed the costs that will be on the draw, actually it's a good idea to go ahead and print this report of the costs that you're drawing. It will come down to the amount that you will be drawing. It's a detailed report, and it tells you which one of these things are change orders and change order numbers if a PO has been assigned. That can help you when you're posting the interim draw payment that you'll receive from this, because you might be allocating so much of your payment to change orders. At the whole amount you receive for the draw, you realize that you've drawn for change order costs. And I do have some other videos showing how you are marking your payment and marking change orders as paid at the same time as you receive. You're just drawing it all in one draw request. So you could print that out, which could be handy. But let's continue to the draw worksheet. And what this will show you is, just for information basically, your original budget, approved change orders. You can drill down on the budget, see what it's all about. This is for building permits. You can drill down on actual costs that have been posted, which we just did in the previous video for builder permits. We've just posted part of the building permits. We're still expecting to post one for Travis County, but we've only posted this much. And this is the amount we posted plus its markup percent. So if you drill down, you can see how that is. We actually posted 500, had a markup of 25. We have no prior drawn because this is our first draw. It just does a little calculation of how much percent is complete based on the cost to the total budget plus change orders. Now what I'd like to show you is that it's just the ready to draw amounts are these amounts that have been posted. This is our first draw, so in a way these totals are the same. In the next video we will come back and just do a second one real quickly so that you can see how it shows the prior drawn. But the other column here is for retention percent. If there's some reason you're required to withhold 10%, or that they will be withholding 10% from each draw, you set that up on the job setup window. So every one of these little pencil edit icons next to the retention will actually open the job setup window. And I'm just going to change that retention to 10% for a minute so we can see what happens. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put a buyer tax on this for a second. In case we're in a state where we're having to charge some sort of sales tax when we do these, when we request draws. So I'll save that. And let's close this job setup window. And then you'll notice that 10% suddenly goes in on every single line. And now the amount to draw, the percent complete was this. The retention amount, the total of all these retention amounts, is 10% of that. And so now it has ready to draw this amount. We're going to take the retention percent back off, but I just wanted to show you. And when you get to your very last draw where retention percents have been being withheld in the past, you would want to go ahead and change that retention percent back to 0, and then it would that would make it so that you were drawing the balance of everything. We're not going to have retention percent on our job here. So it's going to recalculate, so actually it's just going to go ahead and do a draw request for all the costs that we posted through December 31st, 2015. So now we're ready, we're happy, we drilled down, we looked at everything, and we're ready to produce our draw request. The first thing on this window that opens before we get down here to this part, which has to do with different styles of draw requests we can elect to print and post, is that there's a box here. There's going to be a box at the top of the draw request, what we kind of call a signature box, and I just clicked in that text, and this rich text editor opened. I can change this to be whatever I like. I've made a couple lines for contractor signature, etc., to be in the box. But you can edit that however you like, and you just need to remember after you edit it to click Save. And you'll see that show up here in a minute. So let's first of all, over here is, you can see a list of job revenues if you're just interested in that. All we've received is the down payment money from them. You could look at a list of change orders you've had done, but that really is going to be included, because you could do the draw request only for a draw request that includes all cost codes, or you can do one that attaches a list of revenues and change order reports. The draw request itself will be the same for both of these, but one of them will attach revenues and change orders information. I'm going to do the one first for all cost codes. What it's doing is it created a PDF of my draw request and put it in what is called the CHS file cabinet. It's telling me that a window will open to tag it if I want to. It's given a pretty high permission level for who could see this out of the file cabinet. Level 3 is pretty high. 4 and 5 wouldn't be able to see this. It's already tagged it with the job code, with the contact name. It does say to show the buyer because this is a draw request. In case the buyer is online, has been set up to be online. You can change the title if you like. This is just a random number here at the end that CHS throws on to make sure that it's unique as it's creating, because the file title cannot be the same as something else in your file cabinet. You can type a little note about it if you like, whatever you like. But you can open the file right here to look at your draw request. Bear in mind it will be stored in the file cabinet, but this, you quite often might want to go ahead and download this to your own computer. This is the little PDF thing that my software supplies. So you download that with that little button over there, and I'm opening it with my own Adobe Acrobat Reader, which means I can save it somewhere, make it easy, or I can use the tools here to email it to someone, that my reader provides, that kind of thing. I also can use tools to change pretty much anything I want on here in my Adobe Acrobat Pro. But let's take a look. This is going to show every single cost code. Oh, let's scooch back up. That signature area I told you about is printing right here. You can see sample reports of this in the help. I will go ahead and print these whole things out and just keep them in the help. And this one it's showing the cost to date, prior draws, retention, and this draw. And it shows the total draw amount right up here, $90,477. It just lists all the detailed cost codes, comes down to the amount of the draw. And then you could just present that and do away with. I don't do page 4 of 5 or 6 of 5 or anything, so that you may not want to give them the rest of this. This is a little bit what people were requesting to be a little bit like the AIA type draw request. Total completed means this is the total cost we posted with their markup. We're not doing retainage. It's coming down to balance to finish. If you study on that, you'll understand it. One question I get is this says total completed $90,477.38 minus payments I received, and this says earned balance due, and they think that's confusing, especially if they've done some other things that makes that difference. But the only difference is the $25,000. We're not applying that. We are asking for this whole draw because we're going to hold on to our $25,000, but you can explain that to your home buyer. You will know about it if you have differences there. Earned balance due basically means it's the amount if the job failed right now that they would owe you for costs that you spent. So it'd be that much less your down payment, and then the earned balance due. Then it comes down and it will show a list of revenues, and we've just received the down payment. We've actually piddled in our demos with all kinds of change orders, etc. So who knows? We have a list of change orders down here that could be of interest to the customer. Now the main thing about this is at this point, this draw request is not posted, and you must close this window that opened to tag it. I made a little change here, so I needed to save it in my tags. I'll close that, and in order to get the question whether to post the draw request or go back to the draw style collection or close, do not post the draw. I'm going to go back to the draw style selection and not post it yet because I real quickly want to open the other styles. The one, I'll just do the draw request only. The revenues and COs reports are the exact same on each of them. But I'll show you the difference in these. The summary means it's just doing just the group totals, not all the individual cost codes. So you can have that style, and you can see how it's a lot shorter. It's just your group headers over here, your cost code group headers, so it's summing them all together and not giving so much detail. I'll go ahead and close that, and close this, and close this. And I'm going to say no, go back to draw style selection. I'm not sure about which one I want yet. This one will only show the current draw column only and not prior drawn or anything. It's just a column saying this is what I'm drawing, flat. No balance due, no budget, no anything. It's just a list. So if I open that, you'll see that one is very short. It's only lines. It is the individual cost code lines, but only lines that have amounts to draw. No prior drawn, no budget, no anything. It's just a list, and I want to draw this. So I'll close that. It's all drawing for the same amount. It's just different styles. And no, go back to draw style selection. And let's do one more that includes that sales tax that you saw me put on the job. And in Texas, we don't actually hardly use that, but it was requested that actually at the end of the draw request. Now notice this draw request amount has changed. It's gone up a little. And that's because if you go all the way to the end, you'll see the draw request amount we were drawing on the others, but now 8 1/4 sales tax has been added to that. So you need to be aware of that when you post the draw and post that amount to sales tax payable. I'm sure that you might have to pay your state controller, etc. So that's what that style is. Now real quickly, I'm going to do one more time. No, go back to draw style selection. I'm going to put this detailed one with revenues. This one I like the best. I like a little more detailed of all that. I'm going to let it prepare the PDF. Each time I was saying no, it was getting rid of the PDF so that it wasn't cluttering up stuff. And I already know what that looks like because we looked at it a minute ago, so I might just, like I did before, take this ending random number off. But I can tell it's draw 1 Vista View. Save that. Close that. Now I will say yes, post the draw request. And what it's doing is it ran and took all of those costs and it attached a draw number of 1 to those costs. And it's put it now into a list. You'll start having a list of draw 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here I can view the stored PDF. I might have saved it down like I said and already sent it to the customer. But it's going to look in at the file cabinet for any stored document that has a draw number of 1 and the cost and the job code that we can see right here. And it searches for that and opens the file cabinet for you. If you click this, you could email the file to yourself or you could just simply open it. And that's the one with all the cost codes. Now, if you want to delete the whole draw request, we're back here to the list of draw requests, not uploaded documents. You use the red X. It would ask you to verify you want to delete all that. And you click OK. If you do click OK, a record will be stored in the audit table, which you can see draws audit here. I've been deleting a lot of them, trying to prepare for demos, so you can see something that's similar. I deleted an added entry. But earlier today, I did a draw number 1, and then I deleted it. So it says who did it and which draw was deleted. By the way, CHS, if you delete this, it will delete the stored PDF document. And if you want to drill down after the fact to what the cost detail was behind this, you can. And you can still see those change order numbers. And you can see the total $9,477.38. And you'll always be able to do that. That's the amount of your draw. You can drill down to a summary of the draw, which is just the groups without a lot of detail and prior drawn or marked up, or just a marked up report, which is similar to the others. You can look up deposits, see if you posted a deposit yet for this draw, which we have not done. Various things, but I'm going to stop this video and we'll come back and we'll do a second video because I want you to see what happens when you have prior drawn column and how that looks. It'll be a lot faster video. Thank you for watching.